initiative into play. Yo, what's up? Let's talk about it. Okay, now we are live. Some notifications was kicking out. What's up with it? Absolutely. Chicago's been going through it lately, good people. And yeah, it's a lot been going on, man. Yeah, so Chicago right now, everybody's fighting over the learning system that's going on. But the history of Chicago's education system has been crazy. Starting in like, you can go back to like 95. In 95, Mayor Daley had named a new CEO. They came with the Reform Act that they had that was first came in '88 during the Reagan era. Then they had the change the policy to make charter schools the very next year once they hired Paul Vallis to be the CEO. Mayor Daley, that was his move. So then he put 15 charter schools in Chicago, another 15 in the burbs, and then they had academic probation for like over 100 different schools. So in like 97, shoot, I am nowhere near my phone. Hold on. Ah, I'm back. Woo. Wow, a Casey sighting. Wow, you know it's special. So, yeah, it's a big war going on. They took a vote yesterday over doing, virtual learning, and it caused a big uproar here in Chicago. But starting those charter schools, they selected certain neighborhoods. So if you went to a certain school, it was out of your district, you got to take two buses, a train just to get to school. So that led to more dropouts, right? They had their first Uno charter school put into place when Clinton came and did that in his presidential address, his State of the Union address. He praised it, that what Chicago was doing with the charter school network. So they had all these charter schools in Chicago opening. So in 2000, they was raising the bar up, right? This is going to be what's great. Then they had the No Child Left Behind Act once Bush came in, because Bill Gates and his wife had the foundation for the first grant in Chicago schools, nonprofits. They're going to create these charters. This investment is going to be $86 million, $90 million. It's going to be huge. So now you got a new regime. Bush is in charge. So you got the No Child Left Behind Act. You got the Chicago public schools. They're all in agreement to postpone the school closings because with poor academic performance. So they struck a deal with the teachers union. So that was going to keep certain schools open for as long as they could, because There's no way these kids are going to be able to commute and go all the way to where they wanted them to go. So Blago, before he went to jail, he got involved. And then he started using state fund situations for Illinois children. And they got a federal grant for like 27 million to launch a pilot, what they call the merit pay program. 40 low performing schools designed to help in the CPS, and they gonna plan additional programs for development. Now they had what they had Barack Obama when he got elected. They brought in, the education thing. First thing that come off the bat, teachers at the Chicago International Charter School Network got involved. They had Whitney Young, Lane Tech, all of these different charter schools in place. They had the Race to the Top initiative. Bush had the No Child Left Behind. They had Race to the Top, which is something that they could just build behind, which allotted $4 billion for the state. 4 billion that they can meet new teacher requirements and all of these different things. Where's this money going? I have no idea. So over the years, it started getting worse and worse with the school educational system. Then Rahm Emanuel becomes the mayor. He didn't even want the job. They made him take it because Daley was stepping down. He was stepping down after all those years. So Emanuel comes in, doesn't want the job. Obama sent him out of the White House to go take the job. He'd rather stay in Washington. So after this push, the school days are shortest in the nation in Chicago. But their school days have been extended now. So they say, okay, well, right now we got to push this because the school days are shorter. So now we're going to extend it by 90 minutes. So now in 2012, they decided to make school longer. So elementary school is 7 hours, and the high school days are 7.5 hours with an early dismissal. This was big for the city. And it started a firestorm because some people was like, it's too long. And teachers were complaining that they were overworked, oversized classrooms. Now, in 2014, the Board of Education said, look, this physical education policy, we got to triple the time in these elementary schools. So when you start tripling that time, that's going to mean a lot more. He said 5 mental days now. The school's just babysitting and training now. Well, it's kind of hard to play football in the city when you have no school. They laid off about 500, almost 600 teachers and 600 school staff in 2014. This led to more crime in the city. Then that's Kwame too. You want me to hit him back? Uh, Karen Lewis, she came involved, and Karen Lewis came in and did what she did, and then they had the ISAT test. That's something I used to have to take. That's the standard achievement test. They used to take in like seventh grade to try to. That's like a placement test to see where they're gonna rank you to put you in certain schools. So they replaced that what they call the Prairie State Achievement Exam, the PSAE, for high school students with the computer-based exam, which is aligned to Common Core standards in this protest over excessive testing for all the students. The Chicago public schools, they skipped the new, what's that, the PARCC assessment test, with the higher numbers and selective enrollment schools. And they said some Hispanic high schools aren't, affluent with all of these questions for their elementary school, and they wouldn't know half these things. So it was culturally biased. So it was another fight for that. So it was just war after war after war. When you seen the school shut down, you seeing all this fighting commotion. It's the increase in crime each year, each year. More people dropping out of school. The teachers union went on a strike. Then it was an overwhelming strike where they had to go to a vote with the board and the teachers union and everybody else. The city got to come back. Chicago has it the worst, probably than any other city in the world when it comes to the teachers union and the educational board. It is terrible. And now today they're right back on the heels of another situation with virtual learning. And it's everywhere. It's been all over the news here. And I'm like, it's too cold. It is far too cold for all of this. So it was on CNN. It was everywhere today because this is huge. Because now they're going to all do the classes. They voted to do virtual. So you got 340,000 kids out of school starting today, immediately. So the unions and the school district said, C-19 safety, we got to ease some of this tension in the schools. And, with all this stuff with variants and look, let's just go virtual. So now all these kids are going to be out of school, people going back to virtual learning, and they're not going to update a plan. They're not going to change anything. And the president said they would rather have teachers in the classroom, but in-person learning without safety people in charge and all this stuff, they don't know what else to do. So they wanted to start remotely training immediately. So I just think it's just too quick, if you ask me. But too quick of a turnaround. But people are very upset about it because you got to look at it like this: a lot of parents have young children, and those young children can't be home by themselves. So that means the mother has to be home now. Where they would normally be at school, the mother can go to work. Now you got to spend money on daycare, and you got to do all of this in immediate, you know, immediate processes. It's like it's immediate change. You don't have time if you're a parent to get all of this together in one day. Y'all took a vote, now it's in effect. It's like, whoa, 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 hold on. What about the parents of these children? It's a big, big, big problem. Yeah, the education curriculum has changed, like such as math. It's a lot of different things with the test, the IGAP test. Yeah, I remember the IGAP test. That's the one you used to take in like seventh grade. It's a placement test. They've modified that test now, so because with computers and technology, they have to modify the test. Because when we took the IGAP, and all of those tests, it just didn't really mean anything. Those tests don't really mean anything anyway. Because I was a lot smarter. Some people don't test well. Like I never forget my buddy Adrian, man. He took that test and he was one of the smartest kids in there. And he like did poorly on the test. And they had him test. The teacher was like, "You need to take it again. Some people need to take it twice so they can, yeah, because your score is way too low." And I'm like, "Yeah, dude." And I'm like, "I got a higher score than you. How did that happen?" That wasn't supposed to happen, but it did happen. I think so. When he had to do digital learning, yeah, that's more Jenny's field than mine. But to me, it's the same thing. But yeah, I'm gonna end this call quick. I gotta call Kwame back, see what's going on. So I'm gonna talk to y'all later. Y'all can leave in the comment section what's going on. One. Hey, what's up?